They say to their mothers, "Where is corn and wine?" When they swoon as wounded in the street of the city, when their souls poured out into their mother's bosom. What things shall I take to witness for thee? What things shall I liken to thee, O daughter of Jerusalem? What shall I equal to thee, that I might comfort thee, O virgin daughter of Zion? For thy breach is great like the sea, who can heal thee? Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. All that pass by clap their hands at thee and hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, "Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth?" All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and they gnash the teeth. They say, "We have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it. The I Am have done that which he has devised. The I Am have fulfilled the I Am's word, and that Yahweh had commanded in the day of old. Yahweh hath thrown down and have not pitied, and hath caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. Yahuwah hath set up the thorn of thine adversaries. Their heart cried unto the I Am, O wall of the daughter of Zion, let the tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of the I Am. Lift up thy hand toward the I Am for the life of thy young children, that faint for hunger in the top of every street. O behold, O I Am, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall the women eat their fruit, and children of a span long? Excuse me. Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of the I Am? The young and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins and my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. Thou hast called as in a solemn day in my terror round about, so that in the day of the I Am's anger none escaped nor remained. Those that I have swaddled and brought up hath my enemy consumed. Lamentations chapter 2 verses 12 through 22. Deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me in my seed, that we go not astray henceforth and forever. Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. Yes, I am Mr. Clay. And also we thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning. Those of you that have been with us here and there's about and just poke your head in and out. We thank God for you. And we thank God for those of you who have just subscribed. Yes, and those of you who are contemplating of subscribing, we ask you please do. And like the video. And we call those things that are not as though they are. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're in the book of Job. Now we're in the chapter 27 of the book of Job. Yes. I love this lamentation because it fits today's agenda. We ask ourselves, why, God, why? God is angry. God's been angry for thousands of years at the children of Jacob. But yet, God has a remnant. The I Am has a remnant. That remnant is going to follow his, or should I say, the I Am statutes, commandments, ordinances, and laws. The part many of us don't get is that those what we call the 10 Commandments, they're really not, it's really less and we don't get it. See, you go by the labels of the Western countries. Those are labels, 10 Commandments. No, this is just what God has generally said. Then he goes back in the later part of the scriptures and explains what, and he gets into the details of these laws and commandments, statutes, and ordinances. God doesn't leave you hanging. You leave yourself hanging because you refuse to study and to read on and understand and know even the one whom you adore or say you adore. Yes, Job chapter 27. Now, Job is one that is being tested. An Edomite, a child of Shem. He is the same seed of Jacob, the same seed from the same seed as Jacob, the same seed as all the rest of them. He's a son of Shem, a son of Isaac. Yes, a son of Isaac. He's a son of Esau. That's where the split began. God began to split. Now from Jacob, there's a seed splitting. You can say you're the 12 tribes, so what? Oh well, take it, put it in the garbage, throw it away. But the fact is that you have to find God. You have to find the I am, Tatan Zambi, Sanini Nanini Deheya, the I am that I am. You have to find him, Ya Allah. You have to find him yourself. You have to set yourself apart. And that you know that this God means business. This God means business. You can play all you want, play these religious games and have all this stuff and make jokes and fun, but when it comes to God, you have to be serious. The world teaches you to be foolish, to not take things so seriously. Even in the Psalmist, he tells you not to be so over righteous. What? In other words, if you're going to have fun within the law. If you're going to have folly within the law. These things is what God would desire of you. In respect, in fear, in cohesion, in adherence to the law. Because this thing is whereby the angels conduct themselves. From birth, many of us have been taught how to be fools and act foolishly. Eve was the biggest one that she is a trophy of the Satans. It's mentioned in the book of Jubilees about who the Satan was that transmorphed himself into a serpent. It may not be wrong what the translators had said as far as a serpent, some type of serpent, or could have been a kimono dragon. Who knows? That's a serpent. We don't know. Some say a snake, the fruit. They compare it to an apple. You hear something long enough, you're going to repeat it and you're going to think it's true. It was a fruit or some type of fruit. The whole fruit was about, will they love me no matter how they're tempted? It was the commandment that was the temptation. The fruit was the commandment. Don't mess with this fruit. Just like you tell a child and you leave them by themselves. Some children will go against your commandment and some children will not. You set a piece of cake in the middle that makes a child's mind water. This is the same thing with adults. Their mind, their water. You can take a teenager, they still wouldn't be able to resist. An adult, get along. You put a big $1,000 in front of a woman with diamonds around and flowers. But when she touches it, it poofs into a puff of perfume. That way you know she touched it. You told, don't touch this, leave it alone. It will stay there for months. And when I give it to you, I give it to you. Will she do it? Some will, some won't. But anyway, moreover, Job continued his parable. Yes, these were parables that Job had said in chapter, or pronounced in chapter 26. And all of them spoke in the form of parables and to be indirect. This is the way they did it. As God liveth, who hath taken away my judgment, and the Almighty who hath vexed my soul. All the while my breath is in me, and the spirit of the I am in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. I'm not going to do it, Job is saying. I'm not going to do it, no matter how things are going bad, how things are going good, whether I'm rich or poor. I'm not going to do it. I know in whom I trust. See, this is one thing about the separation between in the seed of Jacob. No, Israel will not be saved. Jacob will not be saved, but a seed from Jacob will be saved. A remnant. Yes, and you're not already saved. You believe that lie, you give yourself torment. No, you're not saved at all. Saved from what? You still subject to traffic stops. You still subject to drowning in the sea. You still subject to slavery. You still subject to death. You still subject to everything. How in the world are you saved? You still subject to war, famine, pestilence. How are you saved? Oh, it's by faith. No. You have to look at the psychology of faith. That is something made up by the Western. Your confidence in God, believing what God says regardless. You can say that in the English language, in your language, however you would say it. I just trust God, period. Does that mean you're saved? No. And then they try to fuse it up. Oh, saved by faith through grace. Oh, this means trusting and believing it. Get out of here. Please, just trust God. Just trust the word that God gives us. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even matter what God throws us in hell or puts us in a fire or whatever. Because the fact is, we know that our I am is good. He tells us, hey, somebody slap you, slap him back. If you want a wife, you can get what you can afford. If you want children, you can get those too. Yes, you can. Whatever you want. God doesn't hinder you from getting. If you want a drink, God can give you a drink. I don't care how you disagree with me. If you want to smoke, you can smoke. But do you know this? It can take a toll on you. God doesn't condemn those things. The actions that you do behind it is what God shows. If you drink and cause you commit adultery, it's cause you to murder, to steal. Come on here. This is what drinking, a wine bibbler would do. A drug addict would do. Because all these leads to something that we shouldn't do before the Most High. See, you can tell those people, drug addicts, say, they don't buy drugs, they don't. You're right. You are so right. But what's behind that? A drug addict will steal from his own mother, his own father, his sister, his brother. Yes. And you even have a whole country that loves their drug addicts so much that they would steal a whole oil tanker from another country or blow up ships. And this country has nothing to do with that. This is how bad it is. If you want to end a habit, you have to get to the one who habitualizes. Therefore, there is no market. If there's no market for it, there's no drive to sell it. People want to be rich. People want money. And this is what they do. He says, while my breath is in me and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils, my lips shall not speak wickedness. What is wickedness? Don't curse. You don't curse your mother or father. You don't curse your brother-in-law. Nor my tongue utter deceit. You're not going to lie or try to get something out of, deceive a woman into giving her body to you, or a woman deceiving you to wanting and desiring her. No, you can do this with the tongue. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. And all that he knew the Satans and his friends were being used to do No, it ain't gonna work, cuz. Is what he's saying. It's not gonna work. Oh God, it's not gonna work. I trust my God. I obey, I adhere to my God, is what Job is saying. Yes, I do this. My righteousness I hold fast, and I will not let it go. My heart shall not reproach me so long as I live. Even he Job understood the importance of having one God. Did he speak of Isis or Yahweh Shah or Yahusha? No. He knew there was only one God. And if there were many gods, that would have been then. Why is not it mentioned then? You get vague sentences and parables and all this, and you try to attribute to pronouncing your idol, your demigod. Yes, some of you Israelites that call yourself Israelites, you do the same thing. You're just because you may be the seed of David, don't mean that you're going to be saved. You're not going to be with that number that God will come back and execute judgment upon the earth. No, you're not. No. Not with that. And your Sabbath days, you've went the course of man. You've done that which is convenient unto you, to celebrate the Sabbath day on a given day given by man, when God have already give you a natural day. What Sabbath have they kept? Did they keep the Sabbath on Saturday? Was it Saturday during the time of Enoch? Was it Saturday during the time of Job? Well, this Saturday did not come until the seventh day. This seventh day that we understand to be Saturday did not come until the pagans came. Come on here. Let me continue. He says in verse 7, let my enemy be as the wicked, and he that rises up against me as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the hypocrite? This is what you are. Though he hath gained, when God taketh away his soul. Job knows what it is to be rich, and now he knows what it is to be poor. He knows what it is to be in total fear and anguish because he don't want to displease his God. Yes. Will God hear his cry and the trouble upon him? No. You so-called Israelite, you so-called whatever tribe or whatever you called yourself of the children of Judah, that doesn't, your birthright is not a license to be entered into the kingdom which God shall have for the children of Jacob. And those who would walk after the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances that God has prescribed for the children of Jacob. It's not for the world, it's for those who want it. Because he knows the world is wicked. And so are you. If you would argue, God reveals to you truth, and you reject it because of your wanting to please those that you have associated yourself with, whether it's your church, your mosque, whether it's whatever. You will give your life for these rather than thinking of the individual God that is one. You would think of these things. Yes, you will. Shoe fit, wear it. Just let it be. Verse 8. And what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he has gained when God take away his soul? Verse 9. Will God hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him? No. Will he delight himself in the Almighty? A hypocrite never delights himself in the Almighty. He delights himself or herself in pleasing those of their social circle or their religious circle. Oh, he's such a good person. They do the things they do to be seen. This is what's happening. Job understood this. And then in verse 11 he says, I will teach you by the hand of God. That which is with the Almighty will I not conceal. Behold, all you yourselves have seen it. You've seen it, yes. All you yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye thus altogether vain, useless? You don't understand. You don't obey. Verse 13, this is the portion of the wicked man with God. Yeah, you're religious. You go to your heart, you go to all these things, you go to your Jerusalem or whatever you want to go to, but yet your heart is still full of darkness. Woman don't want to be a wife, and her husband do not want to love his children and provide for his family with all his might. God does the same for you. Do you want to go and have a woman you know you will not marry, but you would lay with her? Oh no, God doesn't deal with that. Let's continue. He says now, verse 13, this is the portion of the wicked man with God, the heritage of oppressors, they which shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, this is for the sword. And his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Think about it. Why are your children poor and you poor too? Why your children don't have nothing to eat? They're grown and got their children and it just flows on. You call it generational curse. There ain't no such thing. What they do is see what you doing and they think it's the good way to do. They see you hustling, so they gonna hustle. They see you don't have education, so they won't have education. They see you say God will provide and they won't even learn nothing out of the book. Come on here. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. His wives, that's what he's talking about. He's not talking about it. More than one wife has been ever since the beginning. Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. Yes, you have your rich in the world. It looks like they're prospering. They're having a good time too. They're laughing at the poor. They're laughing at everyone. They have their bunkers ready for the war that they're preparing with another country that just wants to trade and protect their investments as they trade. That's all it's worth. They will lie and gaslight you in many ways. We call this the West. And yet they want to bring down those who God has set up. You cannot bring them down. I'm sorry, man, president or whoever you are, EU, whatever, Tina Boo and all the rest of you. You cannot put down what God has set up. No matter how you call yourself religious. You need to go back to the scriptures and read those things. All over the world. The U.S., yes, you cannot put down what God has set up. If he's putting you down, at least he's bringing you down softly. But you don't get it. You still fight it like a drowning man. You're grabbing at sticks and stones and steadily sinking. And being overwhelmed by the waters. This will cover you soon. This is what you're doing. And he says, verse 18, he buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Terrors take hold on him as water, as tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away and departeth. A storm hurleth him away out of his space, or his place. For God shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain thee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him, and shall hiss to him out of his place. This is what the world is doing to the West. They're doing this. God sees the sin of the West. I'm going to make it plain. Although they sin, they have their own sin, but God has a thing for you. And you can't see for licking. You put up your nose, your color, or whatever you are. But yet you're as a sinking, drowning man being overwhelmed by the water, grabbing at what you can to try to save yourself. You will not be saved. No. But thank God he let you down easy. And those of you that have escaped into other countries to call yourself to escape that thing, it's going to catch up with you too, because you are part of the seed of those that have done evil. And you're still doing the same thing. Hoard, putting your money so-called safe places. It's not going to help you. Still, as verse 23 says, men shall clap their hands at him or you and shall hiss him out of his place. Job understood this because Job was a very rich man. And he shall be rich again, according to this narrative. He understood the plight. He's seen his rich constituents, his rich among them, how they get so rich that they decide, hey, I can do what I want to do. I can buy the young as well as the old. I can get all lewd and wicked. And no one will harm me because my money will speak for me. Yes. But then men shall clap their hands at you and shall hiss you out of this place. Now, rich can mean not only you are rich in monies, but some of you have friends, you have clout, you have your circle or your little area, your neighborhood. Yeah, you're rich. You sell, you got your little business and you put others down. Oh, he's not talking. Yes, I'm talking to you too. And if we do those things that are pleasing in God's sight by obeying his commandments, statutes, ordinances, and laws, we will have